You've done what you're supposed to do. You've shown up, you've achieved things others admire, and yet there's a quiet question that keeps surfacing. Is this all there is? Let's talk about it.
You found the Midlife Revolution Unleashed, the space to embrace your wisdom, reignite your passions, and move boldly into what's next. I am Coach Wayne, the VIP coach.
And I'm Coach Stacy M. Lewis. We're here with insights, stories, and strategies to fuel your midlife journey. So take a breath, lean in. Your revolution starts now.
Hello. Hey, Stacy, do you know that we're almost through January, the first month of the year 2026? They say time flies, but it's supersonic, it seems to me right now. Stacy, we were just celebrating the new year the other day. How are you doing, Stacy?
I am doing well. You are absolutely right. And that is a prime reminder to live the life we have. And if we don't feel like we're living, we need to get busy living. Welcome to Midlife Revolution Unleashed. I am Stacy M. Lewis. I'm a nonprofit executive, a midlife women's coach, and a lover of God and his people. And I'm so excited to be here with my co-host, my esteemed co-host, the dude on the rise, Coach Wayne. What's going on?
Stace, I'm happy, just delighted, feeling simply marvelous sharing this platform with you as usual. And I'm Coach Wayne, the VIP coach, and I work with men of color to help them navigate midlife so that their second half can be their best half. What do we have for the good people today, Stacy?
Oh, Wayne, I'm excited because today's show is basically, is this all there is? I don't know if you've asked yourself that question, Wayne, but I certainly have. And today on Midlife Revolution Unleashed, we're really exploring this question. I think many people in this season of life carry, often silently, and it is this all there is, not from that point of failure, but from a place of success and responsibility, and that lived experience. So that's what we're going to chat about today. The conversation is about purpose and spirit and listening to what this season is really asking us.
Yeah. And this is not a loaded situation here. We're talking about no shame to reach this place, midlife, and ask the question because there's a sense of restlessness, a sense of uncertainty, a question of, is it all there is? You know, we've built up expectations in terms of the previous seasons of our life where we were in discovery, in provision and protection and doing all those things that we're supposed to do by the books. And we get to that, not ripe old age, but we get to that age of discernment where we start asking the question, I'm not fulfilled. I've done the game by the
Mhm.
rules. And I'm at midlife and I'm looking at what's going ahead and what's left before us. And I'm in this place right now. So there's no shame. It's reasonable to be at this season and ask ourselves those questions, don't you think, Stacy?
Absolutely. So many of us have done pretty well in this life, right? Have really accomplished many of our dreams or aspirations, have made some strides, have whether it be growing the bank account was one of your goals or getting that promotion. Many of us have done all right and yet still feel a little restlessness around that. Is this all there is? And it doesn't mean we're not grateful, right, for what we have. Um, but it means that there's still more, right? You and I often talk about still becoming. There are still opportunities. There's still windows, open doors, and really naming, I think the longing without shame, to your point, is a critical part.
Yeah. This season, Stacy, challenges us to look at achievements versus alignment. And there's a
Mhm.
difference. Many of us have along the way picked up the shiny objects. We've gotten the goalpost. We've done these things, right? We have the Lambo and the Rolls Royce in the garage,
All
right?
right.
We have the huge bank account. We have the family, perfect family of 2.5 with the picket fence and the garage. We have all those things. We have achieved these successes. But are we moving in terms of purpose? Are we living on purpose? Is there alignment in terms of what we're doing? Because if there is no alignment, it seems empty or there's a gap. And that's what we're talking about in this episode. Are we in alignment, not just achieving?
I love that, Wayne. Sometimes the discomfort isn't really because something is wrong, right? It is because there's room for something deeper that's really trying to get our attention. It is such a sweet season in life when we get to say that we have done those things, and we have. I don't have that Lambo in the garage, but my Nissan Altima's kicking. It's
That's
kicking,
right.
y'all. It's
That's right. That's
kicking.
right. That's
Uh,
right.
that we have these things, yet I can recall intimately, that deeper longing, recognizing that deeper longing after um, getting my son out the door and getting him, to a real solid point of adulthood, and after achieving on the job, and so all of this season of after that really resulted in the ability to begin to tap into some of those deeper longings.
Yeah. Sometimes this unsettling or this questioning of ourselves is not because something went wrong, it's because there's something deeper for us to get to. So it's not
Hmm.
about the breadth and the width of our successes or achievements or lifelong doing. It's about now going vertical. It's about deeper.
Mm.
It's about us finding more meaning. And this longing, to your point, Stacy, is not about shaming ourselves and why aren't we there? And oftentimes that why aren't we there is based on a measurement that somebody set for us, a standard that's not our own. When we talk about alignment, Stacy, we're talking about something related to a divine principle,
Hmm.
faith, and an assignment, so to speak.
I love that you said it's the opportunity to go vertical, right? You and I both being believers, um, believe at the top of that vertical is God. And as we go down into the vertical, right, we then get to connect our deeper longings with our higher power. Like
Yes.
what a gift of this season. And so I do love the draw that you just presented between achievement and alignment, because that vertical alignment, allowing us to really look at our faith and our purpose in conjunction with where we are right now, um, is what allows us to experience the richness of midlife.
And so I think we're talking about at this point, the question then becomes, and Stacy, if I'm jumping the gun, redirect me here. The question becomes, is this who I really am?
Mm,
And is this all I really am? Is there more in the becoming of who I am? Right? So you've done great. We're not saying there you aren't enough, but we're saying maybe there can be more to whom you are. You're
Mhm.
enough as you are, but midlife gives you a chance, Stacy, to look back and harvest the learned experience along the way. And as I like to say, Stacy, to look at the opportunity to start saging with the aging. And that's about true discernment and alignment. Is
Yes.
this all I am?
Yes. Yes, yes. And yes. What's so beautiful is that we have permission to ask ourselves, even with my successes, how satisfied am I?
Mm-hmm.
Are my successes my current fulfillment? Right? Sometime our successes, happen 5 years ago, 2 years ago, even, last month. But are those successes my current fulfillment? Do I sense that I'm really tapping into all of my gifts and heart's desires as I pursue the next thing? Even
Mm-hmm.
if the next thing is reading to your grandchildren,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is that where the meaning is. And so I love the concept of the question beneath the question, because the primary question is this all there is? But then we get to add layers so that we can go deeper into that vertical and really reconnect with our current longings and begin to bring those up and out. And so I love both the alignment versus achievement, the vertical, and really asking these questions beneath the question.
Yeah, I think we were speaking with someone the other day who we'll have on our show in the future, Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
And he pointed out that the Japanese, in their culture, they start when one gets to a certain age, that we call getting ready for retirement. Instead of taking on more, they start unleashing some of the stuff that over the years they were responsible or had accumulated. So let's say they had a job in a high functioning situation, they start taking on less responsibilities because they get more into a mentoring, guiding position for those coming through and coming up, right? So instead of looking to grab more, they sort of at this stage say, what can I let go of in terms of the baggage and the stuff that I've carried up to now to take on a different role, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Because in fact, midlife has a new calling for us. And we are only positioned relative to others to be in that space because of our past experience and the wisdom that we have garnered.
Yes. And applause to the Japanese culture where they honor, right? They elevate that all of that wisdom in that individual that is kind of leading up to retirement, right? They honor that to the point where they are still investing that from a company standpoint so that those others on the job in the company, those younger generations, those that maybe are a couple of rungs down from that position, get to pick the brain, get to glean, get to really absorb, right? Not take notes in an hour and then that person is gone, but really absorb and take what they said and put it into practice and then see what happens and then go back, right? What a gift. And often part of it is our society, but we're not recognizing or lauding all of that wisdom, meaning, knowledge, experience that we have, even to ourselves, right? That then gives us that permission to tap into, like, okay, is this all there is, right? Because I have really accomplished so much. And
Yes.
so yeah, I just think it's rich.
Yeah. I was in Ghana, as you know, Stacy, the other day, and I was delighted to see how they honor in that community aging. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, as we came west, we lost some of that. But you can tell that folks are being prepared to be elevated in the community as they get older, right? And so it's something that we need to look at, I think, as an opportunity, a great opportunity at midlife to start preparing for your next season. And so, I take on mentoring right
Hmm.
now with not just young people, but folks who have not gotten to the mid age, right, as it were, and it's just very rewarding at a time like now, Stacy.
It really is. It is a beautiful time. And we recognize that everyone's experiences are different, and our heart's desire here is to really bring to you the possibility that if you're asking this question, is this all there is great possibility for digging into, for naming the longing without shame, and for questioning beneath the question, and really asking yourself some thoughtful questions like, what truth keeps resurfacing
Hmm.
when things get quiet, right? It's often in those quiet moments that we really begin to reconnect with what's happening on the inside, what those deeper longings are. Love it.
And be obedient once you are
Mm.
hearing the resonance of the truth, right? That's where we become aligned with purpose. Just become obedient, not just hear the truth, but to follow through on your truth. Stacy, this period in some groups is referred to as the third age. And it's interesting because the first age is, you're fresh out of college, or your early stage of life. It's about learning, forming, striving, right? You're in that hustle, bustle,
Mhm.
breaking through. Second stage, you're building, producing, making your name in the game. And this here, the third stage, is integration. It's bringing it all together, right? Contributing from experience and wisdom.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Um, many of us were taught how to succeed in the earlier seasons of life, um, but not how to listen to ourselves, to our inner longings, and not how to listen when success no longer answers those questions. And so I look forward to learning more and hearing more about the concepts of the third age, which I know is embraced or acknowledged in many cultures. And I would go back for just a second to your point about, Ghana and your experience in watching them laud um, the seniors or the elders, right? Those are some of the things that were stripped from us culturally.
Yeah.
And you know, I I love that we're having these conversations that begin to bring back the meaning for those of us in midlife, and hopefully speak to younger generations to see the value of lauding, right, the older generations. And I'm honored to still have some older generation in my family and in my circle. And, I appreciate that. Uh, Even as I get older, right? To still elevate them and amplify them as I ask some of these questions about, what success is, and is that answering the deeper message or the deeper calling.
Yeah, yeah. And in this third stage, in business, oftentimes people call it the messy middle as well, because
Mm,
it can be a mess, right?
it can.
But but you have the tools to kind of navigate it that you wouldn't have had previously. And we're not saying disband and let go of all that has happened to now. We're saying this is the period to look at things and reframe, right? To be able to give it through new lenses, a new sort of definition or intention.
Absolutely. We have to bring all that we are, right? All of those experiences from the young age, all of these experiences from the younger middle age. And as we older middle age, we need to bring those experiences. That's what allows us to really ask that deeper question, like, okay, is this all there is? The Nissan Altima is in the garage, is in the covered garage.
Yeah,
The house is not paid for, but it's on the
yeah,
way. And
yeah,
is this all there is? I'm an executive in an organization, and I've sat on boards and all of that. Is this all there is? And
yeah,
I don't know about you, Wayne, but for me, that's certainly, one of the drivers behind wanting to pour into other women and become a coach and a mentor because of that. Is this all there is? And the answer was no. There's more of me that is still becoming, yet able and open to the opportunity to pour into others.
yeah. I love that, Stacy. And for me, to your point, uh, it's purpose beyond performance. Is
Mhm,
what it is.
mhm,
We are performative all this time. We gotta not just prove to ourselves, but oftentimes it's about proving to others. There's this external drive to compete with the rest of the world to say that you're worthy or not, but just to even to get in the game sometimes of being accepted in certain
mhm,
circles, you have to prove that at a certain age you have done the buying of the house or the marriage and the two kids and the dog spots and all this extra stress that we put on ourselves with the idea that you're at the stage where you should be doing this, you should have checked off a certain amount of countries that you've visited by now, or else. Is that success? That's not success. Certainly, where did that come from? And so, Stacy, so many of us spend a lifetime
mm,
not really appeasing our core call. My friend Sean Dove says, don't stall your call. Stop
mm,
stalling your calling. Jump right in and let's begin. So now we are at this stage where it's about who are we becoming?
mhm,
Really,
mhm, mhm,
if you stripped everything that I've done, trophies and awards and bonuses and all that, am I still whole?
mhm.
Am I still me? And what does that mean? And that's what I think we're challenged with at this stage, Stacy.
Yeah, it does connect with identity a little bit, and we'll have to deep dive that in another episode. The reality is now, as we talk about purpose beyond performance, right? We get to ask, is what once motivated me still sustaining me or
Mhm.
still driving me? Purpose is really, in this season, is less about doing more and more about being truer and more authentic to who we are now and to our deeper longings.
Yeah. So purpose, I think, is we talked about alignments. It's matching up the who you are
Hmm.
with your values and knowing that you're serving a calling, something we talked about the level of depth and profound
Hmm.
movement. And so purpose is about that. It's the experience. It's not just the performing piece, it's the experience of becoming uh who you were meant to be,
Hmm.
being
Hmm.
obedient and aligning,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've heard the word obedient recently. So I think that that's something I appreciate you using that word, and it is worth acknowledging. Um, the purpose is sometimes about reclaiming what's essential. We talk about values throughout our episodes and reconnecting with those values and aligning it with the question of, is this all there is? And where is my faith? What are my gifts? What are my talents? How do I really want to use them, combine them in this season of life, right? To couple them with my knowledge and my life's experiences in a way that feels meaningful.
Yeah. And Stacey, here's the nice thing about it all. When you are on purpose, right? We may have said this before in another episode. Things kind of flow as you go and it grows because you're in alignment. So
Mhm.
there is no forcing of things to happen. A lot of what we do up to now, we're testing and we're forcing and we're trying to make breakthroughs and so forth. When we come to peace in terms of that alignment, Stacy, the people, places, and things that are meant to carry us through sort of appear. It's almost like magic, and you start having a life that seems effortless. And I don't mean you don't put work into it.
Mhm.
You don't
Mhm.
feel the stress of forcing things anymore. You're at peace almost.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. This is the season of voice, of visibility, of honoring self, and after making it through all those seasons of holding everything together, we really get to now honor ourselves in a way that is not self-aggrandizement, but that is connected, aligned, as you said, with who we are now, with our faith, with our deeper calling and our deeper longings, and moving all of that forward in a powerful way.
Yeah. And in terms of integrating all of what we're talking about here in a practical way, you don't have to be able to see the mile down the road plan. You just need to own where you are now, be present, and take the first step toward
Yes,
purpose. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I would say one of the questions for the next step is, what is my soul asking for now?
Mm. And folks, you can journal this, right?
Mhm.
You can begin to plot the path of your thinking and your walk. And one of the ways that we sometimes use as coaches is to help people record stuff by journaling, right?
Mhm.
Um, this path. Another awareness practice is notice where you feel tension and restlessness.
Mm.
And if there's tension and restlessness, to the point I made earlier, you may be forcing something. So you want to release this point. You don't want to live a life filled with tension, stress. Release, let it go.
I love it. I love it. Um, Here are a couple more prompts. Uh, what feels unfinished? not because I failed, but because I've grown.
Mhm.
Where am I craving depth instead of distance? And
Yeah.
what am I being invited to honor in
Yeah.
this season?
Yeah. And I have people around me that hold me up in many ways, Stacy. And look in your circle. If there's someone you trust, you can ask them, how do you see me evolving? You know,
Mm, mm,
and if that's someone you trust, then take heed, because oftentimes people see the 360 around you, which is what coaches do, right? We are at the 40,000 feet level and we're seeing the 360 around you, the blind
mhm.
spots. Sometimes we need to be hearkened with someone who can see that for us, who we trust and know, to help us move into the next stage.
Yeah, I really like that question. And, for those folks that you consider safe people in your space, it's an excellent opportunity to have a conversation about how you're seen by others that know who you are
Yeah.
and how they see you evolving. I really like that question, Coach Wayne.
Yeah. Any affirmations for the folks, Stacy? Because we believe strong in affirmations.
Sure thing. Get a little declaration in there. My worth is not measured by my output.
Yeah.
Amen and amen.
And give
Uh,
yourself permission, Stacy, to say, I'm allowed to evolve, right? I can change. I'm not an old fogey. I can't do something new. I am evolving. I'm allowed to think differently, to change. Yeah. Stace,
Absolutely.
you're laughing, Stace.
Because you said old fogey. There was something about that one that just gave me a little bit of the chuckle.
Yeah.
I would say, Coach Wayne, to our listener, if you've been asking, is this all there is? That question may not be a problem to solve. It may be an invitation to receive. If you are a dude, you are invited to reach out to Coach Wayne. If you want to either check out his free assessment or connect with him as a coach. Would that be about right, Coach Wayne?
Yes, ma'am. I would love to just meet with folks and help them figure out their next step. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Stacy,
Uh,
how about you?
and for
Have you?
those sisters, here I am. Our goal is to see you soar. Um, I always say I'm cheering you on, but we know my partner over there in the other square will
Yeah,
see
you
you
know what?
where.
I'll see you at the top. Stace, we've come to another end. We're wrapping it up. And so let's bid the folks a wonderful rest of the weekend. Right, Stace?
Thanks for tuning in to Midlife Revolution Unleashed. We appreciate you and hope that this episode, along with the others, have been of service, of gift, and of blessing to you. Thanks for tuning in to Midlife Revolution Unleashed. We're grateful you're part of this journey.
If you love this episode, share it, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another episode.
I'm Coach Stacy, and I'm cheering you on.
And I'm Coach Wayne, and I'll see you at the top.